Here at Global Warning News, we feel compelled to tell you the stories that you might have missed. With that in mind, this is the disgraceful story of a trusted company that stole millions of our tax dollars right in front of our United States Department of Defense. The number of these crimes, the size of these crimes, and the number of employees required to carry them out create a criminal mixture that can only occur when the corporate boardroom is filled with greed and chilling audacity. Due in part to the focus of our 2024 national election, at the time the story was breaking, it received little attention. So we're going to bring it to you again right now. The Raytheon group of companies is the United States' second largest defense contractor, making a wide variety of missiles, advanced avionics systems for various aircraft, precision weapons, command systems, sensors, and hypersonics. Of the many companies who contract with the United States Department of Defense, Raytheon is second only to Lockheed Martin when it comes to receiving vast sums of money for supplying our Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines with lethal weapons.
Fines include penalties in criminal cases as well as civil fines, restitution, and the return of profits that derive from inflated Defense Department billing. There were more than 750 violations of the Arms Export Control Act and international traffic and arms regulations. Additional fines cover unauthorized support of defense technology to Russia and China and Iran. In October 2024, Raytheon agreed to pay nearly $1 billion to settle allegations. Raytheon management says that these crimes happened prior to 2020, which would place many, if not most of them, in the very first Trump presidency.
Raytheon was founded in 1922. In the year 2020, they merged with another top defense contractor, United Technologies. Today, the resulting company is commonly known by two names, Raytheon and the merger name RTX, which now includes Collins Aerospace and Pratt & Whitney. Bluntly put, most of the business Raytheon does focuses on making weapons that will kill large numbers of human beings. With these weapons at their disposal, we can only hope that Earth's leaders will work more to create peace than they will to start wars.
Oh, good luck with that. You may be wondering why the United States doesn't, the government doesn't simply stop doing business with Raytheon. Great question. That would be nearly impossible, unfortunately. Raytheon's tentacles are entrenched through a very wide variety of high-tech defense products supplied by other defense contractors. And take, for example, the F-35 fighter jet, which is widely promoted as being built by Lockheed Martin, and with the primary partners being Northrop Grumman and BAE Systems. However, Raytheon produces precision weapons that the F-35 uses for air-to-air combat and for air-to-ground strikes. Raytheon also supplies various other avionics systems like sensors, communications equipment, and radars. All of the United States' major weapons systems depend heavily on contributions from a wide variety of manufacturers, and the removing of any contributing companies involved would result in a number of projects being stalled or totally stopped. Such a dependency is not a good thing, of course, but unfortunately that's the way our defense industry works.
At this point, Americans should be provided with the names of those Raytheon employees who were involved in the reported crimes, don't you think?
Absolutely.
And what was the depth of the investigation into the crimes? Was any Raytheon employee identified as being a conspirator in these crimes? We could find no information on anyone being identified, never mind being brought to justice or to trial. Certainly there had to be a number of people involved to pull off crimes like these. One question will follow this story forever. how much other additional crime has taken place but has never and has not yet been uncovered.
Yeah, and that story will go on forever. Despite Raytheon's crimes being among the largest heists in history, nobody has ever even gone to prison or even been put on trial for them. And then as we were working on this episode, the Los Angeles Times reported on a 3-year prison sentence given to a person for smuggling a suitcase full of turtles to China. But there's no prison time for the oligarchs robbing hundreds of millions of dollars of our taxpayer money.
Your taxpayer money.
It is a fitting time to reaffirm that the role of the Attorney General is to serve the rule of law and to ensure equal justice under law.
Merrick Garland made this claim often during his tenure as the United States Attorney General. I don't know how many times I heard that. It was hollow then, and it's even more hollow as we hear it now.
For sure. It's been said that the only perfect crime is one which never gets discovered. Perhaps we should modify the definition of a perfect crime to include large corporations stealing money while their leaders face no consequences whatsoever when getting caught. One might have some sympathy for the poor person who steals a small amount of food from a grocery store. Remember, isn't that an old-fashioned word, grocery store?
Old-fashioned.
Despite the real possibility of serving time behind bars. Raytheon's crimes weren't even done out of necessity, and the stolen money would have likely gone to its stockholders rather than the perpetrators at Raytheon. It is almost as though they were doing this just to make fools out of the Department of Defense, which they did. We will always be wondering what crimes against the Department of Defense have not yet been or may never be discovered.
Yeah, I'll always be wondering that for the rest of my life. But Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump need to bring crime, overspending, and contractual weaknesses at the Defense Department under control. We'll have to see if they're up to that. I don't know about that. I have sort of doubt it, but it will require honesty, real justice, and a fair democratic process.